Well, service remains suspended on the Scarborough RT following a derailment last night that left several people hurt.
Here's what happened. A southbound train came off the tracks near Kennedy and Ellesmere roads at around 7 p.m. Dozens of passengers were on board at the time. 5 had to be taken to hospital where they were treated for minor injuries.
TTC spokesperson Steward Green joins us live this morning with more on the situation. Steward, thanks for being with us. The advocacy group TTC Riders says 20 shuttle buses are inadequate to move all of the Line 3 passengers. Can you update us on how that situation is working out this morning?
As with most things, TTC Riders, their facts are a little off. We have 40 buses out there for the peak period. There will be a total of about 70 or 80 buses throughout the day. So we've got that service out there now. Really, it's about making sure that we have a frequent and reliable service. We're certainly not about to put the trains back on that track until we know it's safe to do so.
So do you have a sense of the timeline on that, Stuart? I realize you have to do an investigation into this, into how this happened, what's happened here. And I'm sure the investigation not only will look at the RT car involved in this, but will you look at the entire sort of fleet or range of vehicles that are on those RT tracks now?
So we don't know how long it's going to take. I'll be honest with you, Nick. We need to do this investigation. We've got some experts coming in from the outside, people who are experts in derailments, and they're going to help us look at what might have caused this, and certainly whether or not it's safe to resume service. So we'll look at the vehicles, we'll look at the track infrastructure. Was there vandalism? These are things we just don't know at this point, and we're not going to rush service back there until it's safe to do so. We would never put unsafe service out.
Stuart, for regular passengers of the SRT, they're probably wondering how to plan their day and days ahead, depending on how long the investigation takes. What is your advice to them?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, Jen, people who regularly take the SRT will be familiar with shutdowns. We shut this system down in the winter when it's very cold or snowy because we know it doesn't handle the bad weather very well. So we've got experience doing this. Our customers have experience with this. It is not an ideal solution, don't get me wrong. But what we're doing is we're going to run frequent bus service, and we'll have that out there. We've also got what's called the GO protocol in effect. So if you're coming in from the Agincourt, Milliken, or Kennedy GO stations, you can get on the GO train for the TTC fare. You can also do that at Scarborough and Eglinton on the Lakeshore East line. So there are options for people that are coming in from Scarborough to get downtown. They can use the GO train if they want. They can also take those bus shuttles, which will be running every approximately 2 minutes in the rush hour. So these are options that are going to be available. Our priority is always safety. We are not going to put unsafe service out there, but we also acknowledge that bus service isn't ideal, and our customers would prefer the trains to be running, but we simply can't run them if it's not safe.
Yeah, you got to make sure that understood there, Stuart. In the meantime, we know the decommissioning of the SRT is coming up in about 4 months' time. In the wake of what's happened, is there any discussion on maybe moving that timeline up, or is this considered to be just an isolated situation right now?
So it's very much on the table, Nick. I'll be honest with you. If we don't believe it's safe to restart train service, we would not restart it. We're having this conversation internally about whether or not we just leave it shut down. Now, of course, that's not going to be ideal because in November, what we had in place and what we're working on with the city is things like traffic signal priority. We would have more bus service out there. We would rearrange our bus lines. We'd have transit signal priority. We'd have queue jump lanes. We'd have the red painted lines. We'd have a number of things in place. And then, of course, moving toward the full bus way when we take out the RT infrastructure. But those are things that we're planning for November. If we have to do those sooner, it's going to be a temporary fix. It's not ideal, but certainly that's not off the table.
Okay, Stuart, while I've got you here, I realize we're here to talk about SRT, but our next story is actually about Francois-Philippe Champagne, the industry minister, directing his department apparently to launch some sort of expedited consultation process to review the licenses of the major carriers to try to get more wireless coverage on the TTC. Does the TTC have any play in this, any involvement in this, or is this purely from the federal government's perspective, and what would the TTC involvement be, if anything?
Yeah, so I mean, this is really a legislative and a licensing issue between the telcos. We know that Rogers has been committed to working with the other major wireless players to get wireless service in the TTC. That work is underway. We have no reason to believe that they can't meet their commitments. So we've got comfort in that. This appears to be just sort of pushing the timeline to make sure that things happen within a certain period of time. But I think it's work that was already underway. Of course, our priority is just to make sure that our customers have that upgraded 5G wireless network that Rogers has committed to in the next few years. So that's really what we're looking forward to.
Okay, Stuart Green, spokesperson for the TDC. Appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.